It's a staring sight for sure, the cream of the Great Britain cycling team speeding round the velodrome in Manchester as they prepare for glory at this summer's Olympics. But you know, however high they climb in the medal table this year, there's one cyclist in whose shadow they'll struggle to escape. A Yorkshire woman who dominated the sport for more than a quarter of a century, but now whose exploits have largely been forgotten. From the 1950s to the 1970s, Beryl Burton reigned supreme.
Beryl Burton had set a scorching pace. It wasn't long before she left the Russian trailing and rode for 21 miles with nothing in front of her but the finishing line.
British best all-rounder 25 years in a row, 7 times world champion, MBE promoted to OBE.
She was way ahead of her time because she's a multi-world champion. She could win world championships on the road and on the track, which has only just been replicated by Mark Cavendish now. I don't think any other Brit has ever done that.
And despite reaching the pinnacle of her sport, none of it ever went to her head.
I don't feel personally that I've got something that they haven't, because I don't feel that I've got anything special about me. I've just got 2 legs, 2 arms and a body and a heart and lungs.
For Beryl's relatives, her will to win dominated family life. Was she good immediately?
No, not quite. The first year we actually pushed her around, and the second year she rode at the side of us, and the third year we saw her back wheel because she just rode away.
She did like to be the best
Yes.
in everything.
Oh, in
and
everything,
to do her best,
yeah.
she put her whole effort into being the best. It's not, she didn't expect it to come easy. She really tried, whether it was cleaning the house or racing a bike. Everything was a challenge, a game,
Yes.
and a game nearly, wasn't it?
Yes,
really?
it was, yes.
Yeah.
Growing up as a sickly child, Beryl was determined her fitness was never again in question.
She'd go out and do 100 miles, no messing. That was her form of training. I don't think many women could do it, and that's what made her so great.
For Charlie, who gave up his own cycling career to coach Beryl, success brought its own reward.
It was nice to know that the person that you felt so much about was actually winning.
I was lucky enough to know Beryl, and in all my years as both a cyclist and a journalist, I never met anyone quite like her. Although it was 40 years ago, one memory that will never leave me is when I danced with Beryl on the dance floor at the Sports Rights Association dinner. She nearly threw me off the floor. She was simply that strong. Her strength came through sheer hard graft. As an amateur, she couldn't afford to race full-time and had to balance her cycling career with a series of physical jobs on local farms.
When you go training, I feel I'm working my body, say to 90%. I think the other 10% has to come when you're racing. You can't train your body 100% all the time, as you would just burn yourself into the ground.
Meanwhile, her no-nonsense approach to diet and training would have shocked today's coaching elite.
I eat a lot of liver and fish and chicken. I'm not one for having steaks every meal because I think they're far too expensive anyway. I bake each week. I eat cakes, homemade fruit cake and flapjack and crunch and all that sort of thing. But I obviously burn it off because I don't put weight on.
But in a nation where cycling was seen as a recreation, not a sport, she was always facing an uphill struggle. Why did she never become an icon after all her achievements?
I think it was because of the standing of cycle sport in the eyes of the general public at the time. Now we know it's massive. At that time, a bit of a Cinderella sport. Her performances were big, the sport wasn't.
But while cycling had a small following in Britain, in the rest of Europe it was huge, and Beryl was its star. Perhaps her crowning achievement was a double world championship in East Germany in 1960. And today, Charlie and Denise are about to be shown a film of the event for the very first time. It was shot by a documentary team from the German Democratic Republic the year before the Iron Curtain came down.
There's my mum there, look, see? Just plain jersey, that's the British jersey. There, look.
That's right, you were red jerseys, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
This is the Pursuit World Final.
Fast
Look there,
and all. Look at them legs going, eh?
She sticks to that line.
Yeah.
Das war der Sieg. Nach dieser erfolgreichen Titelverteidigung gewann Beryl Burton dann ihr zweites Regenbogen.
That stadium is packed, isn't it?
I don't know
Absolutely
if the
packed out.
stadium was 60,000 or the road.
Yeah, but
But there was a
that is,
60,000
there's not a spare
somewhere.
seat there, is there?
No.
Just amazing.
Yes, after the championships in Germany, it was back to earth with a bump, where there was barely a ripple of interest in her fantastic achievements. I think she summed it up in her autobiography when she said, "I was a double world champion in an international sport, and it might as well have been the ladies' darts final down at the local as far as Britain was concerned." In France or Germany, she would have probably been paraded in an open-top bus. You certainly get the feeling she had a point. And it's a complaint she might still have today. Even in her adopted hometown of Morley, whose cycle club she made famous around the world, she's hardly a household name. But among the Morley Club veterans and colleagues from the National Cycling Championship team who Beryl raced with and against, there was still a huge wealth of affection. You represent a teammate for a few years in the 60s, and then along came you, Joyce, and then finally Anne, you came along as well, and that's Beryl's bike you've got with you, isn't it?
It is,
Which
yeah.
fitted you by sheer coincidence, did it?
Absolutely. I think we must have been the same size, yeah.
Did you go as fast as when Beryl used to ride?
No.
To her teammates, she was both an inspiration and a friend.
She was demanding in a certain way, but she was very, very kind and very, very easy to get on with, really.
You'd done the best you could, and that was all she asked of you, that you'd done the best that you could do on the day.
I can remember once upon a time feeling absolutely awful in an event, and I just thought, no, everybody's feeling is bad. We can win this, because she encouraged you to do that.
Beryl died as she had lived, suddenly, and in Yorkshire while riding her bike, and the cycling world flocked to honour one of its favourite stars. She really did, with her teammates, make the Morley Cycling the best club in Britain, really.
Oh yes, she did. And I mean, when she died, and we ran the memorial fund, we had donations from all over the world. East Germany, Australia, America, Canada, everywhere. She was probably better known on the continent than she was in this country.
Today, a memorial cabinet here at the National Cycling Centre in Manchester contains most of her cherished trophies. Pride of place, though, in the centre of the cabinet, Bob, is the arc-en-ciel, the rainbow jersey. Only a world champion can wear it. In Beryl's day, they were virtually unknown in Great Britain, and Beryl won 7.
And across 2 disciplines as well. That's something that every young kid should come here and look at and aspire to, is the rainbow jersey.
But during her glittering career, one coveted prize eluded her. Beryl missed out on Olympic gold simply because she was a woman. Ladies' cycling events weren't included until 1984, and she'd be relishing the prospects of lining up in London. Do you think she'd have won an Olympic medal?
Without a doubt, if we could design a course for Beryl, then she'd be Olympic women's time trial champion in London.
Beryl's legacy of medals speaks for itself. Here in Morley are memorial gardens and a mural showing her in full flow. Yorkshire at least will not forget one of Britain's greatest unsung heroes. Beryl Burton really did take on the world and win.